So I'm gonna be chin strap grip, and again, I'm on my toes. As soon as I go to my knees, I lose a lot of my pressure. I wanna be on my toes the entire time. So chin strap grip, shoulder on the back of the neck, I grab his tricep. I first wanna circle away, and I rip till I get his elbow to touch the ground. This is gonna limit his mobility. When people have their hands to move around on, they're really quick. As soon as you put their elbow down, they lose a lot of that mobility. Next, a lot of white belts or people who, when they first start going to go to the back, they think they can just be like, ha-ha, got your back, right? But in reality, what's gonna happen, as soon as I try to go to the back, this hand's gonna come up and block me, right? He can come up on a single, I'm gonna have to whizzer, and now we're kind of like in a dogfight position. And I don't wanna end up in that dogfight position. So I have to do what's called wedging. So first, front headlock. I grab the chin strap grip. I grab his tricep. I circle and I rip till I get his tricep on the ground. Now, there's a bunch of ways we can wedge. Like a really simple way, I can wedge with my hand to block this grip and come behind. I can also wedge with my legs. So the one we're gonna do today is I'm gonna take this knee and I'm gonna wedge it in here. This stops him from pulling this through. I have to be really tight. If I'm loose and he slips the elbow, now again, we're ending up in a dogfight position. So I have to wedge really close. Next, I'm looking for a crucifix grip. So I'm gonna Kimura grip the arm. Opposite arm grabs the wrist. You can do a thumb grip or a thumbless grip. Truly doesn't matter to me. I think they both work. And then I'm gonna grab my own wrist and I'm gonna pull it in tight. So again, get into that position. Like I'm playing guard, or I just snapped him down. I shoot front headlock. I'm on my toes, chin strap grip, tricep grip. I circle until I get his elbow on the ground. That cues me in. I can take my knee and I can wedge it inside. I get my Kimura grip. And now capturing this arm, there's gonna be a bunch of different ways I can capture it. If someone is like, we're just getting here and he just leaves his arm out, I just step over and I take it. Right? For this first one, we're gonna do that. Next, I'm gonna show you when they pull their arm in, they're really tight, they don't wanna give it to you, how we can take that. But for right now, I just want you guys to get to this position. So from the beginning, snap, front headlock. Chin strap grip, tricep grip. Circle and rip. Sometimes it's gonna take a couple times, circling to get that tricep down. It's like, oh, it didn't go, it didn't go, it didn't go. I got it down. Now I wedge in my knee, I shoot my Kimura grip, and I can kind of use this knee to like pull his elbow out. You guys see that? I step over and I want to pull it all the way behind my other leg and switch it. I always want this knee. I don't need it, but it's preferred that this knee is trapped in his arm. We're going to get into crazy stuff later. We're actually going to finish like this. Don't worry about that right now, but it'll make sense later why we trap with that arm. One more time. Front headlock. Tricep grip. Circle, rip, rip, rip. Elbows on the ground. Knee inside. Kimura grip. Kind of slide to open up the elbow. Step. I don't do it loosely. Because if I just do this, he's going to take it. I take the arm. I drop my knee to the far side. And then I pivot back. Just get to this point. Does that make sense? All right, 1, 2.
You have to. Left side.
Insert arm. You know what I mean? Like you're not going over. A lot of times when I get this, it's really like, just make sure you keep your foot on the ground and just keep like pushing yourself over. Don't overthink it, you know what I mean? Okay, next. Another big contingency is people, if they don't run away, and this will happen if I have the arm trap or if I don't have it trapped, it doesn't really matter, is he pushes into me to try to come over. See, his hips are off the ground. This is a really, really common reaction when people, especially like once I have the arm trap and they feel like, oh, I can't run that way and I can't run that way, they're gonna try to run into you. As soon as the hips come off the ground, whether or not the arm's trapped, hips off the ground, I swing my bottom foot through and I capture. If I have the arm trap, it's gonna turn more into a triangle because I'll just cross my feet. I'm gonna like hug myself over his arm. I'm gonna pull his arm all the way up to my head, grab my foot, pull, and then I'm gonna do like a rear triangle. Squeeze to finish. If you can't finish here, I just elbow and come up on top. We're not gonna fully go into that one. All I want you guys to do right now is like whether or not the arm's trapped, like even if it's not trapped, if the hips come off the ground, I take the back, right? The arm's trapped, boom, hips come off the ground. I take the back. It's just this time I have kind of like a weird triangle. Here, if you want to finish the triangle, this arm can be really hard if I try to pull it up like this. So I come over the wrist and I just hug over his arm. I then use this to pull his elbow up as high as I can towards his head. I capture the elbow, foot, pull it high. You gotta switch onto the side. And then I get my figure four in the triangle, squeeze to finish. If you're really having trouble finishing here, I come up, like I pull this up to my head. Who has kids? You ever feed a toddler and they're like, no, I don't want the food. And you're like, eat the food. And they're like, I'm not gonna eat the food. We're first gonna feed our toddler. So I take my belt, I'm like, Derek, eat your food. And they're usually gonna turn their face in and they're not gonna wanna get choked. I'm like, Derek, eat your yum-yums. Derek doesn't want his yum-yums. I take it and I go over the other side. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. As soon as you like feed them their yum-yums, they always open this side up. Because they immediately think like, oh, this guy's trying to choke me. I go over top of the other side, slip over his head. Now, if he keeps his chin tucked, I just pull on his nose and I slip. And sometimes it's gonna take a couple times. Pull on his nose, slip. Pull on his nose, slip. Once I'm under the throat, I start to choke. If I really need momentum, I bring my leg over his head and I kick my head and I finish here. It's called an assassin choke. I can also use my lapel.